Hi everyone, how are you? Nice to see you all. I hope you all had a great weekend. Sorry, you just caught me just finishing reading a section of this book. Has everyone got this book? A fantastic book from Tim Peake. We've been reading it as a family over the weekend. I was just looking here at this picture of Venus rising before the sun. Some of you may have seen Venus up in the skies over Easter. I don't know if any of you have noticed, we've retweeted it on our social media this morning, but Tim Peake is doing a live Instagram talk at 11:30 this morning, which sounds incredible. My children are certainly really excited about it and are going to be tuning in. So maybe you might like to get involved. Really inspirational chap. Well, I hope you all had a lovely weekend. We've had a weekend full of trampolining and books and cooking and cricket and lots of fun together as a family. And I hope you all managed to do the same and got away from your laptops. Now, if you give me a second, I'm just going to share my screen and we will make a start on this morning's assembly. So here we go. So I hope it's been a good start to the summer term so far, and a Monday morning has gone well for you already. But I know that for lots of us, as we face Monday morning, this picture can capture how we feel. We can all feel a little bit anxious as we come in to the start of a new school week. And what I want to talk to you about this morning is changing our attitude to Mondays and changing our approach to how we come to school each morning. We're going to make a decision collectively as a school to be happy, to be positive, and to attack the week with real enthusiasm and with a big smile. You've heard me say to you so many times before that the same old thinking always leads to the same old results. So if I decide this week's going to be difficult, or I'm worried, or I'm scared, then I'm going to be worried or scared. If I decide that I'm going to be happy, positive, and I'm going to have fun this week at home with my parents, online with my friends and with my teachers, then we're going to have a great week together as a school. And when I was thinking about this topic over the weekend, I came across this poem, which you may like to take a moment to read through. And it's a poem written back in 2015 by a school pupil in Brooklyn in New York, actually. And she was given a task by her teacher to write a poem entitled "The Worst Day Ever." And if you read through it, while I talk to you about it a little bit, you'll certainly agree that I think that it captures the worst day ever really, really well, especially those last few sentences. It's all beyond my control, and you'll never in a million years hear me say today was a very good day. Now, when she received this task from her teacher, she went home and she talked to her mum about it, and she decided she was going to write a poem based around the principles of Hasidic philosophy. And what Hasidic philosophy teaches is the ability to harness the intellect, the mind, to govern our emotions, so how our brains can govern how we feel, how we can make a decision about how we react to the situations that we find ourselves in. And that seemed really, really appropriate. Now, if you read this poem from bottom to top, you'll see the real message. So what she did, which was really, really clever, was she went away and she wrote a poem that could be read forwards and backwards. But in reading it backwards, you get the real message. And I'm going to have a go at reading this for you now. You might want to read along together at home. Today was a very good day. And you'll never in a million years hear me say it's all beyond my control. My attitude creates the reality. I'm sure you can agree it's not true that good exists only if one's surroundings are good. True happiness can be attained because it's all in the mind and heart. And it's not true that satisfaction and happiness don't last. Some goodness does shine through once in a while, even if this world is a pretty evil place. Because when you take a closer look, there's something good in every day. And don't try to convince me that today was the absolute worst day ever. I really love that message, that actually our attitude creates our reality. We can decide how we're going to react to the situations that we find ourselves in. We can decide to be happy, decide to tackle challenges as fun, rather than feeling that they're scary. So together as a school, we're going to make that decision that we're going to take control. Now, what's also really, really cool about this poem is it's spread all over the world. It was entered into a poetry competition in New York, ended up in a newsletter. Somebody saw the newsletter, they printed it off, they put it up on the wall in a bar in London, and somebody took a picture of this poem. They posted it on social media, and it went viral. It spun all around the world, picked up by all the major news outlets, and it was a big news story right way back in 2015. And what a positive way that one school pupil, just working away on our homework in New York, has influenced all of us, so much so that we're still talking about it in an assembly 5 years later. And that got me thinking about this message here from one of my favourite politicians. And it goes right the way back to his 2008 election campaign. Your voice can change the world. And I'm going to, rather than me telling you what Obama said, I'm going to show you a short clip of Obama speaking, which captures it much more eloquently than I ever could.
One voice can change a room. And if one voice can change a room, then it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a state. And if it can change a state, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world. Your voice can change the world.
I really love that idea, don't you? Your voice can change the world. One can change the world. What a really powerful idea. And we can see it right there in that poem. One poem written as a piece of homework in New York, spun around the world, sending a really positive message. And I think all too often, especially now, while we're not together in school, while we're working virtually from home, we can feel that we can't change things. We feel a little bit out of control, but it's not true. We are in control. How we react to the situations around us is entirely up to us. Our voice can change the world. Your voice, one voice, can change the world. And we can make a decision right here, right now, as a school community, to choose to be happy, to choose to change the world, one person at a time, by being kind, by showing generosity of spirit, by being true to our school values and attacking this week in a positive way. Now, you've heard me talk before about Andy Cope, who's done some research into behaviour. And what he said is that behaviour is literally contagious. He's really cool. He's got a PhD in psychology, and he studied happiness. He's a happiness doctor. What a cool thing to be, a happiness doctor. I love that idea. And what he says is that behaviour is literally contagious, and that if we choose to be happy, it doesn't just affect how we feel about our week. It makes us feel good and warm inside, but it also has an effect on 3 degrees of people. Okay, it's called the ripple effect. So if you choose to be happy, everyone else that you come into contact with in your house today is going to be a minimum of 16% happier just because you decided to be happy this morning. And then when they go online, your parents or your siblings, and they speak to their friends or their colleagues at work, all of their colleagues are going to be 10% happier because you chose to be happy, in turn making your parents happy. And then in the households of all those other people that they've talked to online, they're all going to be 6% happier because you chose to be happy. So it can spread your happiness to 3 degrees of people. Think about the impact that we could have as a community of 500 pupils here at Cranford. How happy can we make the world together? We can start a happiness revolution right here at Cranford. Last week in Assembly, you heard me talk about this concept of busyness, and I think that's so key at the moment. I think where we're all tied to our laptops, looking at the work we've got to do for English, and the work we've got to do for maths, and the work we've got to do for history, which, let's be honest, that's just fun. But nevertheless, our to-do list gets longer and longer and longer. And instead of focusing on our to-do list, I think it's all the more important at this time that we focus on our to-be list. Let's fight that culture of busyness, and let's focus on who we want to be whilst we're at home this term with our families. And I love this quote from Andy Cope. Sometimes you need to step outside, get some air, and remind yourself of who you are and who you want to be. So really, it's a simple message, but I think it's an important one and a powerful one, and one for us to take away together from Assembly this morning. And with this in mind, your teachers have prepared a short video showing what a few of them have been doing to keep cheery during lockdown. So I'm just going to play this short video for you now. Hope you enjoy it.
Hola, chicos.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, Cranford.
Mrs. Ellis here. I thought I'd share with you my little bit of daily calm at the moment during lockdown. And this is my morning commute to work.
Me llamo Señora Tigman. Yo tengo un perro, Rosie. Me gustan las lenguas. So I decided during lockdown to have a go at learning another language, so I'm learning Spanish. Why don't you have a go? Go on Linguiscope. There's Russian, there's Italian, Arabic, lots of different languages. Or you could go on to Duolingo.
That's a skylark. Just taken off. little bit earlier than usual this morning to hear the dawn chorus.
Well, that's the English Channel swam. 21 miles. Next challenge, Straits of Gibraltar, 36 miles.
My tips for staying cheerful during lockdown are to do something that you enjoy every day and try and get outside and see the sky as much as possible, whether it's raining or not. But most importantly, be kind to yourself.
I think that's a really lovely message, isn't it, to finish that short video. Be kind to yourselves. Although I did love Mrs. Haynes' spaniel there, showing some serious athleticism over those toilet rolls. But where on earth did she get all those toilet rolls from? Rather than the prayer this morning, as it is Star Wars Day, it seemed appropriate to finish with this short message. May the 4th be with you. I hope you enjoyed this morning's assembly. If I just come back away from my presentation for a moment. It really is nice to see you all, albeit virtually and online. And the last thing I want to talk about this morning is VE Day. You'll hopefully all be aware that Friday is a bank holiday and to mark the VE Day celebrations and commemorations. And we're going to be having another assembly about this towards the end of the week. And what I wanted to do this morning was launch a big community history project here at Cranford. And what I would like you to do is to have a chat to your families, to your parents or grandparents or other relatives, and find out a little bit about what happened to your family during the Second World War. And if you've got any stories around that, I'm going to ask you to post a short video. I'm going to put a channel up in the junior pupils team and the senior pupils team. I'll do a post later on today explaining where to put your videos. And I'd like you to do a 10 to 30 second video just telling me what your family got up to in the Second World War, or about the VE Day celebrations they were involved in. It could be anything. And what I'm really interested in seeing is a big whole school community history project, and we'll pull it all together into an assembly for the end of the week. So please do get involved. It'd be fantastic if we had lots of contributions from across the junior and senior school. With that said, don't forget to log in and see Tim Peake online at 11:30. Have a great day, everyone. Keep smiling. Let's choose to be happy. Let's have a great week at school. See you all soon.